What's going on, guys? Wei from Revolution here at the Cleef Arpels booth at Watches and Wonders 2022, the first actual fair with human beings that we had since the beginning of the pandemic. And next to me is one of my favorite human beings, the amazing Nick Lepo, CEO of Cleef Arpels. How are you, sir?
Thank you. I'm fine.
Lovely.
Yourself?
Very, very well, and happy to be here.
Same, and glad to be back. It's been a few years because we had left the fair, even before the pandemic, and actually we felt a bit sad not to participate to this celebration of watchmaking again. So glad to be back, and now they decided to change the name to Watches and Wonders. So there was no way we could not be present.
Because you have both Watches and Wonders.
Exactly.
And also congratulations on your amazing success. Even throughout the pandemic, you actually increased in your success. So bravo, sir.
So far so good.
Excellent.
What do we have this year? Mostly Wonders, I must say. And actually, a lot of the presence is centered around a few, let's say, unusual objects. But you know everything about Automata. But I think we came with 3 different proposals that I don't have here because they're quite heavy to transport. But you see them on the booth.
Incredible.
But besides the object, we have still a few watches. First of all, we want to continue on our tradition of poetic complications that you've been following for quite a long time now. And there is this piece called Ballerina that we launched actually a few years ago in a different version, different color, that we completely revisited with a new movement, which is now a self-winding movement.
Oh, fantastic.
And we also rebuilt the whole on-demand mechanism. So you might remember, actually we won the first the Grand Prix.
Yes, congratulations.
The with first prize with that. And the idea of the ballerina that becomes a butterfly on demand. So when you press on the side, you have part of our skirt that actually becomes wings and indicates hours and minutes. So we worked, as always, on a lot of métier d'art and craftsmanship with our workshop in Geneva, here in Merin. We use plique à jour for the skirt, which is quite interesting as well because we try to use as much as possible the transparency effect of the plique à jour. So when it's down, you see, it's pretty, let's say, dark tones, so because you have the stone underneath, and then when it lifts, it becomes much lighter, and the stones and another layer of enamel is revealed.
That's amazing.
And then we have a more, traditional, let's say, guilloché with a sunburst effect on the back. And some diamonds, of course.
What is the material for the dial?
The dial is it's gold, enameled.
Okay. Can I turn it around and just show the camera? So, Poetic Complications is actually something that I really adore, and this is the signature motif of Cleef Arpels watches. Poetic Complication is all about creating emotional expression of time. I mean, time is available for us in every single device that we look at, so why not have watches give us powerful emotions and make us dream? So what Cleef Arpels has done so beautifully is to combine complications with métier d'art. So when Nicolas is talking about Pikachu, what he is referring to is this extraordinary translucent enamel that you see on the wings of this ballerina, who's both a ballerina and a fairy. And when we press this button, you're going to see these wings lift. It's going to reveal more transparency to this because underlying them, they're made darker because they're gemstones set underneath them, on top of this beautiful gold dial that has been enameled and also is featuring guilloché as well, right? So may I press the button?
Of course, please do. But you do it much better than I do.
Not at all, sir. I learned from you. And I see my trusty videographer nodding his head. Therefore, it must look good. Does it look good, Tim? Everything one more time? Absolutely magnificent, sir. Bravo.
Thank you. I'm quite proud of that one.
Yeah, it's stunning. Okay, and then from there...
this is a completely new version. And there's a story I really love, which is actually behind that piece, which is not a story actually, a kind of dream by a scientist of the 18th century, a Swedish scientist, a botanist called Carl von Linné.
Okay.
He actually discovered a lot of things, and he was one of the first scientists to classify existing species.
Right.
So really 18th century, the kind of organization of knowledge.
Right.
And he was quite a poet as well. And he had this idea looking at some flowers and their specific capacity to open and close at different times of the day.
Wow.
That one might think of a garden that would be a clock.
That's incredible.
So of course, in the morning you would have certain flowers open, and then some of them would open at night, and so that was and it remained actually in history as the horloge de Linné.
Okay.
But of course, it never existed because there were a lot of attempts in the 19th century, but it's never precise, and it's a poetic idea that you couldn't really materialize. But I always felt, with our philosophy of trying to tell the time in a different way,
yes,
and of course, our appreciation of flowers, we might do something about it one day. And so with the workshop, we conceived a movement that actually is delivering today what Carl von Linné dreamt about 300 years ago, which is actually a dial where you don't see any indication of time.
That's incredible.
In the traditional way.
Right.
You only see flowers, and then when you look very closely, some of the flowers are open, some of them are closed, and actually the number of open flowers indicates the hours.
That's incredible. That's so cool.
If you look on the side, here we have a bit more of a tribute to traditional, watchmaking and watch indication. You have the minutes here with the retrograde indicator, and all the flowers open and close in a random way, meaning that it's not the same that are opening and closing. Let me try to operate it. Here you see, we'll have to do it to the camera. So here, for instance, it's 5 o'clock.
Right.
You have 5 flowers open.
That's amazing.
And then,
don't worry, Mom. I'm going to flip it to you. Yeah. He looks concerned.
Please.
Okay, just relax.
No, we do it again.
It's coming.
Just showing you. And here, so I've done it. They closed, and then 6 have opened. Then they close, and 7 open. But it's never the same that were open before that reopen.
So it's completely random?
It's completely random, or apparently random.
Apparently random.
So it's not one additional flower opening. It's like you have 6 that close, and 7 that open.
That's
and then
fantastic. I love that.
And then, it goes, of course, here we do it, very fast.
Yes.
But it goes progressively, of course, with time. And then we work, we work the dial as a kind of 3-dimensional landscape.
Right.
So you really have all the flowers. They are made in gold and enamel with diamonds at the center, and then you have these branches that are sculpted in gold that are really 3-dimensional. That come over and under and create this kind of miniature sculpture.
Incredible.
And landscape. And we've done it in two different versions with different organization of the flowers and different color combination. One which is more in a pink and red. A bit like a cherry tree, sakura tradition, and one which is a bit more in the blue and green shades.
And what may I ask, the colored elements are made from what material?
It's all enamel. You have some miniature painting at the back, and otherwise all enameling. Yes.
That's incredible. Can we turn it around to the camera?
Of course, please.
So now we're going to turn the camera, the watch over to you. What time is it now?
So now it's 7.
Okay. And then we're going to hold it to you there, and then if you don't mind to turn the crown, Nicolas.
Yeah.
Then you're going to see it now transform to 8 o'clock, but it's not like one more flower will open. It's going to completely be a new pattern of flowers.
Let me do it the right way. Voilà.
Wow.
It's closing.
That's fantastic.
Can do it again.
Yes. That's amazing. I love that. That's so cool.
And of course you have this, and this is very much inspired by the work that we do on automatons.
Yes.
Because the automata, they push you to work in 3 dimensions.
Right.
And here, for instance, of course, it's a whole, mechanical movement, but you have wheels and mechanism that are both horizontal in a traditional way, but also vertical in order to activate the flowers.
And then you've got different colored stones as well for inside of to be the bud of the flower. It's not cool. This is one of the coolest. This is one of the best women's watches or like artistic watches I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Amazing. Like, I love this combination of stunning method to art, but this wonderfully poetic way of expressing time, related to, you know, botany, of course, and
Yes,
to see,
of course.
and to have this kind of retrograde minute as indicator here on the side. Did you see how that worked already, Munster? Do you want to see that again? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ah, okay, cool. So now we're going to go to 12.
And yeah,
That's amazing.
all open.
That's amazing. And then you see the minute indicator here on the side.
And the back also, which is, you know, fully sculpted.
Wow. Oh,
With
wow.
the mass oscillant, which is also hand painted.
It's a
enamel.
hand-painted
Yeah.
enamel, hand-painted oscillating mask. That's great.
Thank you.
So what is the name of this watch?
It's called Floral.
Floral.
Hours.
That's one of the best things I've ever seen. That's phenomenal.
That's cool. Thank you. I'm quite proud, I must say.
That's you have good reason to be proud.
And I quite like that, you know, you start an idea 300 years ago,
Yes.
and you give it birth today.
I'm sorry, what was the name of the botanist again?
Carl von Linné. He was a Swedish botanist.
Carl von Linné.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's famous for two main things. Some of the first classifications of botanical species and also animal species. And he's also famous for something quite important in our world. He invented the idea of cultural pearls.
Ah, okay. Fantastic. I love this. This is absolutely fantastic. I guess I should ask what are you going to be making these in a limited series? Will they just?
No, they're going to be a bit limited by production because,
course.
as you can imagine, they take some time. But no, it's something that's going to remain in the collection. I think, you know, I'm very proud because, you know, we had some different expressions.
Yes.
You know, with the retrograde, you know, the lovers on the bridge, and this
Yes.
is another way to tell the time. Quite different, but I think still the same philosophy.
Amazing. I love it.
I'm glad.
Bravo. Well, that's it,
I
guys.
think I know somebody who can love it as well. Close to you. We'll talk.
Thank you so much, sir. Very kind
Thank
of
you,
you.
Wei.
Oh, incidentally, I have to say, hang on before you leave, I love what you're wearing. That watch is fantastic.
Thank you. I love it.
That's-
Still, but, you know,
It's
you've
phenomenal.
seen we took it to a slightly
Yes.
larger dimension.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you
so
very
much
much
for joining us.
Thank you.
Nicolas.
Take care.
Bravo, monsieur.
Thank you. Wei. Merci beaucoup.